Now, let's move on to how to set up your business page. In order to access the settings section, you need to click on the settings tab and click on the Instagram tab. So why are we going to the Instagram tab first if this is a course on Facebook marketing? My new students will often ask me this question. As I said at the beginning, Facebook and Instagram are closely related, and we should always link our Facebook business page to our Instagram business page. By doing this, you'll be able to better optimize your ads, get more reliable statistics, and better display your content. Facebook's artificial intelligence algorithms will understand who's on Instagram and how active the audience is. Linking these two platforms together is extremely important. So, it might seem a bit strange, but it's completely necessary. Right now, I've logged into Facebook, went to the Instagram tab, and logged into my Instagram business account. If this is a new project that you are creating from scratch, you will be prompted to create an account, and then you must add it to the business page. If you have a business page already, then simply go to the settings section and check if your Instagram account is linked to your Facebook business page. If this here matches what I have on the slide, you can move on. Okay, I will now explain in more detail why exactly I had you configure all of these settings. This link between Instagram and Facebook is used for things like shopping tags. What are shopping tags? Shopping tags are technology that allows Instagram to tag specific products and photos. Now I know some of you are saying again, Vlad, what does Instagram have to do with any of this? Typically on Facebook, goods are sold, not services. This is because with goods, you can indicate the price and description. The user can also buy the product. Facebook has specifically done this for those who want to promote their business, promote their products, and sell handmade products. They very often tell similar success stories. For example, two sisters from New York who bake cupcakes and have no budget. The only thing they have is a website, and they sell their cupcakes using Facebook and Instagram. So they upload the products through the Facebook store, and they can tag these products on Instagram. When a user on Instagram clicks on a photo, they display the price of a particular product. But of course, for your shopping tags to work, you need your Facebook and Instagram accounts linked. Unfortunately, shopping tags do not work in all countries yet, but they do work in America, Germany, and Israel. I know that many of my students from Israel say that they already have a shopping tag function. Unfortunately, in some countries, they are only in test mode. In those countries where you have shopping tags, you can click on a photo on Instagram and see the price of a product. What exactly does it look like on Facebook? Let's take a look at the slide. Here we can see Facebook products. When you post a product on Facebook, you can also tag it. The user will click on the photo and see the price of a chair/table. He will see detailed information in some videos. This is for those account users who do not have their own website. If someone owns the site, they can add more information in these sections if they please. At this stage, the user can purchase the product and leave satisfied. Let's take a look at Lenovo for our next example. We see that there is a photo of the laptop and the product was added to the Facebook store. The price of the product is here. All the user has to do is click on the photo and the price pops up. And from here, he can buy the laptop. Next, go to the information section. In the information section, you must fill in all the information about your company. You must indicate the opening hours, your address, phone number, email, and give a description of what your company does. These can be counted as additional security measures. Why? Because by adding specific details about ourselves, we can confirm that we are the representatives of the company. Unfortunately, due to the different restrictions in different countries, we understand that opening hours may change, delivery conditions may change, and the company address may change. But of course, this needs to be communicated to our audience. This can be done through the information section. Make sure that the information page is always updated. Next thing you can use is Facebook groups. What are Facebook groups, and why do many businesses consider Facebook groups important? Let's make it clear once again that there are three types of pages: personal, business, and group. Sometimes groups are called communities. Just remember that they are the same thing. So we understand that a community is an association of people that share a common interest. This could be a group of fishing enthusiasts, gamers, you name it. If we're talking about me, for example, and the groups I am a member of the Volkswagen Golf and Volkswagen GTI groups. From my groups, you can tell that I'm interested in cars and I communicate with people like me, who are scattered throughout the world. How do big brands and big companies use groups to sell products? I will give you an example. Subaru Ukraine has a community, and there is a Subaru Kiev community. These groups have people who own new Subarus and old Subarus. They discuss where and who fixes their car and new changes going on within Subaru. Subaru acts as the group moderator. So people use this as a forum to communicate with each other. The group can be private or completely open to anyone. There are more than just car groups on Facebook. You can basically find a group about any topic. One of my agency's clients is a book company. They are a publisher, but they do not just make books. They make books for dentists. And on Facebook, evidence has shown that there is a huge number of dentist groups. There are dentists in New York, dentists in Paris, dentists in Delhi, Tokyo, etc. And of course, these groups have a target audience. What are the options? What immediately comes to mind? Of course, you can go in and, for example, if you're dealing with goods for dentists, write a message to all of them. But of course, that would be spam. How is spam different from a content seeding? What is content seeding? Seeding is an opportunity to convey information to this target audience and to say that we have a book or we have a certain product. All this is done in cooperation with the administrator of the group. You simply ask the administrator of the group to advertise something for you. The administrator will then ask for money or post it for free. It's usually not expensive to post on communities, and since the topic will be directly related to your business, it's worth the investment. I suggest that you either enter groups related to your niche and start negotiating with the administrator, or start your own page. Since you're bound to find like-minded people in these groups, it serves as an excellent opportunity to meet new people and learn new things about your niche. Groups. Globally speaking, groups do very well in Israel. In Israel, there are a lot of different restaurants and establishments that are recommended within the types of groups we just talked about. Unfortunately, unlike business pages, groups cannot be promoted through advertising, meaning you cannot run ads that will attract people to your group page. So now you might be asking, well, Vlad, how do I get them to my group page then? Don't forget that you have a business page that you can use to tell people that you have a private group that you can join and communicate with them. Entice people to join by stating that you have useful information and secret videos that can only be seen if you join the group. Okay, so I've told you how to get the audience to the group page, but how do you go about entertaining them enough to keep them there? I repeat once again, you can use groups in conjunction with a business page or as a separate one. People generally feel very comfortable in groups. Groups can be very interesting and help gather people in one place. Before moving on to the content, let's first understand the algorithms behind Facebook's artificial intelligence. Why do we see this or that content in your feed? How do the algorithms work, and how do you influence these algorithms so that your content is displayed in the feed of your audience? On this slide, you can see the emotions that a user can show on Facebook for a publication. This can be a video post, a picture, infographics, and so on. This is a like, this is a heart, these are faces, wow, haha, or for example, an angry face. One of the most frequent questions that arise from my audience is that if a competitor comments with angry emojis, will it ruin our chances of being seen? In fact, both a heart and a like work the same way. An angry little face also works in the same way. All these are users' emotions. Any user can show any emotion. For example, let's take a look at a specific detailed video. Let's say you see some kind of video. It's about a social issue. Let it be some type of environmental video in which they tell you that people do not think about the future, they throw garbage, bottles, and so on. Of course, once you have seen the video, you can comment with an angry emoji, but this doesn't mean the video was poor quality. It's just an expression of your emotions. Therefore, just because you have negative emojis for your posts doesn't mean that users do not like the posts. They just express their emotions towards the content. Some companies are afraid to receive negative emojis to their posts because they think that it will influence the rating. You can read more about Facebook algorithms at newsroom.fb.com. On this website, Facebook talks about all the Facebook algorithm changes. It is very important to understand that any user who scrolls through the feed and engages with content in any way will increase the content's chances of being seen. All the algorithm needs is engagement. A user doesn't even need to comment or like anything. The algorithm will then start to serve the user more content from that company. This is exactly what we want. We will talk about this in more detail now. On this slide, you can see an example of a vote. People are asked to guess what it is. And with the help of such emotions, a heart/like or a smiling face, you can guess respectively what kind of object it is. It can be funny information, it can be serious statistics, for example, on how many people are wearing seatbelts or how many people are not wearing seatbelts. It makes no sense to show just boring statistical numbers. If you have an interesting graphic, of course, you will better your chances of people clicking, voting, and commenting on your posts, and therefore boosting your chances of your content being displayed. What else is worth considering about algorithms? Facebook says that we should see more content from our friends, acquaintances, and relatives, but not from brands. So what can you do to get people to interact with brand content? What content should it be? We will talk about this in our next lesson. Types of Facebook content. In this chapter, we will talk about effective content, content that evokes emotion, content that you want to comment on, that you want to like, share, save, and so on. How does one create interesting content, and how exactly does a brand work with this content? How should you interact with your audience? Let's take a look at some examples. The first thing we'll talk about is pictures and graphics. Now on the screen, you can see examples of picture and graphic content. How do you create a picture? Of course, it can be done by a designer, and that designer will draw you some sketches and layouts. They can be linked to your global brand book so that it is beautifully reflected in the feed, or just some kind of beautiful photo. There are a huge number of different services that allow you to make such layouts, and here I pointed out Pinterest for a reason. Many of you might say, what does Pinterest have to do with Facebook? If you, as a marketer, want to find out how to make beautiful pictures and graphics, you can go to Pinterest and find cool ideas. You can then use those ideas for your Facebook business page. You can work with stock photos, photo editors, and in this case, you can use stock photos. An important point to consider is that the future of graphics belongs to craft content. What is craft content? Craft content is now a fashionable way to say the word craft. Craft beer, craft bags, craft clothing, and so on. Everyone uses this word, and of course, Facebook uses it too. Craft content is content that you create internally. Craft content is something that is made in your office, restaurant, or store. You used your phone camera to take a photo and post it on your Facebook. The future belongs to craft content because Facebook's artificial intelligence algorithms understand what is shown in photos. For example, if a picture has been used all over Facebook by a bunch of businesses and brands, the algorithms take this into account. If it is a new picture, even if it's not super high quality, Facebook will automatically give it more coverage. The future lies with content that is unique and has not been used before. Can graphics be used? Yes, they can. Can you work with stock photos? Again, yes, but you and I are trying to look into the future. The reality is that desirable content is done in the craft format. What's next? Next, we have picture examples, which you can see on this slide here. This slide gives us an opportunity to solve some riddles. For example, a user writes in the comments what he would like for the new year, his birthday, and so on. Or for example, he posts some fun pictures about how cyber athletes work at keyboards, how designers work, and how hackers work in films. But this is natural, as we often see that hackers work like this. In general, this is how hackers are portrayed in film. So this would be an example of a fun picture to use. Everything on social networks is tuned specifically for fun and communication. The audience should be able to amusingly scroll through a feed and smile. It is designed in this way because if we just were to promote products and say, buy, 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 naturally, people wouldn't like it. And of course, they would be less likely to laugh and leave a like. Next is photo content. Photo content is the future. Fortunately, our smartphones today allow us to take amazing pictures. This is craft content. What should be in craft content? It could be a photo of your product, employees at work, employees in a store or a restaurant. It can also be brand photos. If you invite a photographer, you need to brand the photo because people will likely repost it. This is the logo and the overlay of this logo. Next up is a photography contest that you can host. For example, you can tell people, we have a photography contest. Take a picture in our restaurant, post a photo, use the hashtag, and tag our company, our brand, and our business. After you see them start to post photos, you must choose one of them. Choose a cool or crazy photo that will get a positive reaction from people. Next is articles and text content. In the case of articles and text content, we should note that any content you post on Facebook has the ability to link to articles. For example, if you are a blogger, you can send an audience to your blog through Facebook. These can be large articles specifically designed for long reads. Many people ask me if it's better to write on their website or on Facebook. Today, Facebook is being indexed. Understand that any content that is posted on Facebook can be placed in the Google search engine. Please remember that it is important to post text content and articles on your website. Give a brief description on Facebook about what the article is about and say that you have all the details on your website. This is how you should transfer an audience to your site. These are links to useful sources: Peekaboo, 9gag, AdMe, etc. You can find topics that are similar to yours that you can use for yourself. For example, with coffee without coffee, 9 simple life hacks. So if you have a coffee shop, that would be a good article for your business. If you are in the shoe business, you can explain how to choose shoes. You can base your content off of articles or videos from a third-party source. We are not suggesting that you start sending out links to competitors, but if these are useful articles, share them. Here are some other examples: how to choose a jacket for the winter, how to choose winter boots, how to choose sneakers for running, etc. All of these are cool examples of articles you can use for your page. Next is news content. News content has become a very large niche. So what is news content? For example, you have a new product and you want to talk about it. Let's say you bake cakes or make cupcakes and you have recently created a new flavor. It would count as news content if you talk about your new flavor. News content can be company news. For example, you opened a new office or your company was voted as the best in something, etc. News content can also be about recent changes in your niche that your audience would like to know about. For example, let's say you run a type of beauty company and a new designer mascara came out. Another example would be if a celebrity came out with some new cool makeup. Right away, the audience will be interested. So you can talk about the new makeup, or you can offer alternatives that a user can use to reproduce the new makeup's results. Next is video content. What's the situation with video content today? Watching videos to the end is very important for Facebook's algorithm. The more a user watches a video and the more he interacts with it, the better it is for business. Many companies will make videos that users will watch till the end. Why do they do this? Because the algorithm loves videos that keep the user immersed in their platform. What kind of videos should be used on Facebook? Videos on Facebook are distributed in MP4 or MOV format. The maximum length is 120 minutes and the maximum size is 4 gigabytes. Why am I talking to you about maximum Facebook video sizes? Because if this is some kind of high quality advertising videos, such videos are very often provided to us by clients. For example, we work with a lot of online wristwatch stores. We receive videos from Tissot, Diesel, and we use these videos for advertisements. These make for really cool commercials. They're usually up to 1 minute. But how do different brands and other companies use videos to engage users? Let's use a non-business/commercial example for this next explanation. So, in this make-believe video, a celebrity's parents abandoned him in an orphanage as a child, but he fought and made his way to the top, etc. The whole purpose of this video was to tell the story in an interesting way so that users watched it till the end. Take a look at this slide. The same type of video can be used for cooking. People generally really love to watch cooking videos, and the user will finish the video so that they can learn how to cook a certain food. This is very important because later I will show advertising tools that can help you attract an audience and show what type of people you should be targeting. I'll go in detail about how to collect the audience that watched your video and use them in your advertising funnel. Here are some examples of the same type of video. Here we see an example from Lenovo. At Lenovo, we can simply pause and choose who you are. A snowman, some kind of merry Santa Claus, and so on. This can be used for absolutely anything. Some kind of Christmas ice cream, etc. This is just some senseless fun content that people enjoy. It's just some communication and interaction that you can have with your audience. The next section is infographics. What are infographics? Infographics are opportunities to show boring information in the form of a picture. The audience can share infographics and anyone can save infographics. With infographics, your main goal should be to show usefulness. Here are some examples. Infographics can help people solve simple problems by showing users how to do things. For example, how to apply cosmetics, how to clean a window, etc. People often save and share infographics with their friends because it is useful information. Infographics can be used for sharing useful information with your own audience. Here are some examples of infographics. Let's take a look at them. So these are some fun infographics. Or for example, an infographic from McDonald's can show what their burgers are made out of. There are also fun infographics that show you useful information, such as how visible people are at night when wearing different colors. This would be a useful example for car dealerships and car insurance companies because they show the importance of being visible when on the street or when driving. So infographics are a cool way to interact with the audience and share useful information and life hacks. The next thing I want to talk about is live streams on Facebook. Live streams allow you to communicate with your audience live. You can ask questions and communicate with the audience and find out what the audience likes and dislikes. Getting the general opinion of the audience should be the main goal. For example, there is an air conditioning company who wants to have live streams. They have an expert appear on their stream. The expert answers questions and talks about how often air conditioners need to be serviced and which brands of air conditioners should be bought. Questions for these live streams can be collected through posts as well. All you have to do is ask your audience what they are interested in on your Facebook business page. If you own a hairdressing salon, perhaps they are interested in what product they should use to dye their hair. Using live streams is a sure way to get the audience engaged because people are constantly turning to the internet to look for new information and ask questions. Facebook loves this format very much. Keep in mind that when you do your first live show, don't expect to get 100,000 listeners on your first stream. But if you keep on doing live streams regularly, eventually your audience will grow. The next thing I want to talk about is 3D photos. 3D photography is the ability to take a photo on a phone with 2 cameras. The 3D photo is displayed in a very cool way in the feed. When the user scrolls through the feed, he sees a 3D photo, as if it is moving. This again makes the audience pay attention to it. And in this case, any user, the same as with a 3D photo, can use a panoramic picture. I think you all perfectly understand that with the help of your smartphone, you can shoot a standard panorama. Any user can shoot a beautiful panoramic picture that displays mountains, forests, and so on. But if we're talking about an office/restaurant, can a 3D photo/panorama be used here? Of course. There are even special cameras that can make 3D videos. For example, our agency did the following at a restaurant. We brought a 3D camera and shot all day in the restaurant. But of course, you can't upload a video of that size. Remember that there is a 120-minute limit. By using the 3D format, we uploaded a 1-minute video titled, "How was your day at the restaurant?" It was sped up, waiters were running around, carrying dishes, and greeting people who came in. The audience interacted with it, liked it, and saved it. So what about 3D photos should you be paying attention to? For 3D photos to work, you need to subscribe to the Facebook 360 page. You need a phone with 2 cameras. And of course, Facebook understands this format and understands what 3D photos are. Unfortunately, 3D photos cannot be promoted with ads, but in the future, they may change their rules. If found, 3D photos are very pleasing to look at, specifically when there are elements of movement within the picture. Facebook has the ability to use events. An event is an acceptable type of content for your Facebook business page. You can get people to attend events by telling them some useful information about the event. Any company can organize offline events or online events and then share a link to it. You can compose a whole list/schedule of events and then direct people to the event through your Facebook business page. Events can be promoted. You can use events as a form of communication, and you can also post content inside the event itself. The event in the form of a post will be displayed on your Facebook business page. Here you can specify the opening hours and ticket prices. Here you can also share information about what is useful and what is not. Remember, events are created on your Facebook business page. Make sure the setting of your event is appropriate. If you want to gather a crowd of people and communicate with them over coffee, tea, or arrange some kind of lunch, all of these would be good choices. Don't forget to use advertising to promote it, because creating an event and talking about it is not enough to get the word out. So remember to use advertising tools to promote your events. It's important. Instant Facebook articles. What is this technology and how do you use it? Many users have noticed that if they click Facebook articles, they are not opened in Chrome or Safari, but inside Facebook. This technology is called Instant Articles. It is displayed according to the following type. Such a lighting is displayed on Instant Articles, and accordingly, many begin to confuse it with AMP pages from Google. But this is a completely different technology. This feature is set for companies and businesses that run blogs and news platforms. It's more convenient for a Facebook user to view their content without going to the browser. In other words, they remain on the same Facebook page. On this slide, you are able to see more detailed information about to configure this, and accordingly, a link to Facebook by clicking on which you can connect this function. It's important to remember that there are pros and cons of this feature for each type of business. Of course, upon hearing that Facebook gives more priority to content that uses this type of feature, many people will start to use this instant article format only. But if you are an e-commerce or an online store, then I'm sorry to say that this format is not very suitable for you. If you use this format, there will be problems with analytics and tracking users. After all, the user did not use a browser, he used Facebook. Can the user buy something? Yes. Can they order something? Yes, because the ability to buy something is still embedded within Facebook. But unfortunately, there will be problems with the analytics. There will be problems with retargeting, and you will have a difficult time catching up to this audience using advertising. It's up to you whether or not you want to use this feature for your business. My recommendation is that if you have an online store, do not use instant articles. If you don't have a lot to sell within your blog content, then instant articles work well. This is because the goal is to share information rather than to sell something. But if our task is to sell some product or service, in this case, I will not recommend selling instant articles on the site. Verified Facebook status. Many of you have probably noticed blue check marks like this one on the slide. What is a blue check mark? Blue check marks inspire a lot of confidence within users. A blue check mark states that you are an official page, person, or business. Of course, many people are trying to get blue check marks. It should be noted that this check mark is issued only to official brands or official representatives. Basically, we are talking about large corporations and large businesses. If you have a small or medium-sized business, the chances of getting a blue check mark are small. If you want to submit an application for a blue check mark, go to the settings section and then click on the confirmation tab. If you do not see this feature, then it is not available to you yet. Some people recommend contacting support to confirm your status. In this case, Facebook will request documents. Unfortunately, this process is very slow. It may take 2 to 3 months, sometimes even up to 6 months, for Facebook to even consider your request. But since the opportunity is available to you, it's worth trying. But if there is no confirmed status option, then unfortunately, the official status is not available to you yet. Facebook plugins. What is this technology and why is it worth using? Plugins are in a special section called Facebook for Developers. Plugins allow you to install special elements on your company's website, which help you attract an audience from a website to your social media pages. In this case, we see a login button plugin. An authorization plugin is when a user visits the site and is offered to subscribe through Facebook. For example, there is a comment plugin when a user sees some news on a site and wants to leave a comment directly using Facebook. The reader can comment on the news, and in this case, he does not need to register. These are also pop-up plugins, but be careful. Widgets and plugins are not always worth using. Of course, there are specialists who offer different companies, brands, and businesses to create pop-up windows. What are these? The user having entered your site will receive a huge pop-up banner that asks the user to subscribe to your Facebook. Is this good or bad? Well, let's figure it out. First of all, it's important to say that there is nothing terrible about them as a technology. But unfortunately, Facebook has explained in its policy that it is terrible for them. And if a business uses such pop-ups to subscribe to a page on its website, Facebook bans the website or the web page. Therefore, I highly discourage playing with various pop-ups and inviting people to your Facebook page using this technology.